Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects on Location. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. As you can see, I'm here at the British Museum to take a quick look at the relics of ancient Egypt. So, follow me inside and let's take a look at the exhibits. You are greeted by one of the most important relics of history, the Rosetta Stone, a granodiorite stele that was discovered in 1799 and inscribed with ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, Demotic script and ancient Greek. It was a document that allowed us to begin translating hieroglyphs, and therefore it's an incredibly important document. It was created in the reign of Ptolemy V and therefore carved during the Hellenistic period. Turning left and you walk towards a statue of the 18th dynasty king Amenhotep III. Directly behind it is an enormous bust of the same king from a broken statue that once stood in Karnak. Interestingly, a century later, the facial features of this statue were altered to represent Ramesses II. Here is the left arm of the statue, and you can clearly see the coarse granite rock type. To the touch it's incredibly smooth, and therefore it showcases the incredible stone carving techniques of the ancient people. Just look at the size of it, as well as just how polished the stone is. The head itself looked over 6 feet in height. This is an amazing Assyrian statue of Amenhotep I, the second king of the 18th dynasty, and it was taken from his temple at Deir el-Bahri. As I filmed it, it's almost like the eyes were following me around the room. Although simple, it really is a beautiful statue and was apparently one of many at the temple. Close by is this colossal head of Thutmose I. It was once part of a much larger Assyrian statue that had its arms crossed on its chest, with each hand holding an ankh. Apparently the head of the cobra for the crown was fitted to the statue separately, and that's why we don't see it today. This statue is taken from the temple of Amun-Ra at Karnak. Here we have the damaged head of Thutmose IV, thought to be from a seated statue. As you may know, Thutmose IV was the man responsible for the Dream Stealer that sits between the paws of the Sphinx. Moving along to a statue of the 19th dynasty ruler Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great. It was made early in the king's reign and shows a traditional royal headcloth and beard. This is the same statue but from behind. To the right are these enormous granite sarcophagus lids. The right hand one is about 9 or 10 feet high, and it belonged to a high priest of Ptah. This is quite an interesting object in that it comes from a now lost temple at Heliopolis that was dedicated to Horus in the reign of Amenhotep III. The column is said to resemble bundles of papyrus reed to create the illusion of a giant marshland forest. Here we have a statue of another 18th dynasty king, Thutmose III, who is wearing the triangular royal kilt of ancient Egypt. This Thutmose was co-regent with his stepmother Hatshepsut. You can see that this statue is made from a coarse granite, which has obvious intricate detail and is smooth to the touch, yet more evidence of skilled stonemasonry. The way that these three statues are lined up is quite haunting. They are all statues of Senusert III of the Middle Kingdom, one of Egypt's greatest rulers. They were erected in the mortuary temple of Amenhotep II, who was considered to be the first ruler of the Middle Kingdom. You can pause the video to read the words. I next moved on to another statue of Amenhotep III, possibly made from granodiorite or basalt. I did notice that the British Museum is very heavy on the 18th dynasty. Again, feel free to pause the video to read the information, but it explains how the side of the throne shows the lotus and papyrus, emblems of Upper and Lower Egypt that are tied around the hieroglyph for unite. As you can see, the back of the statue is also beautifully carved. These two statues of Amenhotep III as a lion are beautifully made and would have sat guarding a temple at Soleb in Upper Nubia. This temple was the largest Egyptian temple on foreign soil. You can see the fine inscriptions and cartouches on the second lion, and, as always, we can see the amazing quality of stonemasonry. There's not much further to go in this video as I was running out of time before the museum closed, but here we can see amazing statues of the goddess Sekhmet, daughter of Ra. King Amenhotep III commissioned hundreds of statues of this goddess and he placed them in the Temple of Mut in Karnak, as well as inside his mortuary temple in western Thebes. I then spotted this amazing piece of history in the corner of my eye, and I knew what it was straight away. This is a piece of the beard of the Great Sphinx, which was found by Giovanni Caviglia in the 19th century. The beard was thought to have been part of repair work by Thutmose IV, so this limestone fragment is believed to be 18th dynasty in origin. The other parts of the beard are now inside Cairo Museum. This is the information board that goes with the specimen, so you can pause the video to read it. Before leaving the Egyptian section, I quickly filmed these huge sarcophagi, which reminded me of the ones we see in the Serapeum of Saqqara. They apparently come from a later period of history, but they are still examples of incredible stonework. With time against me, I only had time to see a couple more things, and this incredible stone guardian lion caught my attention. In origin, it's Assyrian, from 865 to 860 BC, and it once stood in the Temple of Ishtar in Nimrud. It weighs a massive 15 tons, and it symbolised Ishtar, the goddess of war, and it guarded her temple. The lion is covered in cuneiform writing and is one of a pair. Across from the lion are these two magnificent winged Ramesses II statues, protective guardian deities of the Assyrians. There are two panels next to each Ramesses II statue which show the Assyrian protective spirits. All of them are from the Temple of Ninurta in Nimrud, and these panels show the spirits carrying the famous so-called handbag, which with some digging you can find out is a bucket. Actual ceremonial buckets identical to these have been discovered in the archaeological record. These are the other two panels on the other side of the Ramesses, and one of the spirits is also seen holding a bucket. Last but not least, and even though the museum was now closed, the kind staff let me go and quickly film this incredible basalt Moai statue from Easter Island. The basalt variants are thought to be much older than the vast majority of Easter Island statues. This statue is said to date back to 1000 to 1200 AD, is beautifully sculpted, and is also intricately carved on the back. So that brings my mini tour of the British Museum to an end. Thank you very much for watching, and next time I go, I'll arrive earlier and show you more of the amazing exhibits on display. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.